From this to hosting European football's biggest night in 3 years. Sound impossible? Barcelona doesn't think so. They just submitted their official bid for the 2029 Champions League Final. Facade panels finally moving, compression rings staging, 62,000 capacity weeks away. But can you build a UEFA-certified masterpiece while fighting rain, delays, and a ticking clock? Let's break down what's really happening on site. Barcelona just made a bold statement about Camp Nou's future by officially submitting documentation to host the 2029 Champions League Final. The club filed initial paperwork alongside Barcelona City Council and the Catalonian government, proposing the fully renovated Spotify Camp Nou as the venue for European football's biggest club match. This marks the first formal step in a competitive bidding process with 15 expressions of interest from various federations, including Wembley Stadium in London, as Barcelona's primary competitor. The complete bid dossier is due June 2026, with UEFA's Executive Committee deciding in September 2026. This ambitious bid carries serious implications. It publicly commits Barcelona to having the stadium fully operational, homologated, and capable of hosting elite international events by 2029. If Camp Nou wins this bid, every construction phase through 2029 operates under Champions League Final standards and UEFA's strict infrastructure requirements. The south goal corner finally shows visible facade movement after weeks of staging. Approximately 8 individual llamas plus 1 full top piece were installed near the brackets area, marking the first significant facade panel work in this zone. However, anchoring hardware remains absent across most of the south goal, and the Tribune sections still lack vertical supports entirely. Large quantities of llamas sit stacked and ready, but installation pace has been severely hampered by persistent heavy rain over recent days. Black paint now covers beams that were previously white, signaling finishing work progression. Yet the gap between material readiness and actual installation continues widening as weather disruptions compound scheduling pressures. The diamond-shaped glass facade for the future Cafeteria restaurant area shows strong progress, with most glass panels now installed. Only 3 glass pieces remain to be placed above the entrance doors and in one corner section. Behind the glass, some reinforcement and formwork remain uncompleted, indicating ongoing structural work that must finish before final glass placement. Many glass panels sit stacked nearby, awaiting installation, and the area buzzes with worker activity related to facade finishing. The visual impact of this diamond structure is already striking, and completion of the glass enclosure will mark a significant aesthetic achievement. However, back-end structural work behind the facade continues requiring attention before this zone can be considered truly finished. Massive compression ring components now dominate the lateral zone material yard. The 4th radial beam sits on-site and ready, accompanied by enormous counterweights and a prepared pillar unit awaiting installation. These pieces have been staged for months, but positioning suggests imminent assembly phases are finally approaching. 3 radial beams currently stand installed, and the addition of the 4th will significantly advance roof support capacity. Large tension rods, called tirantes, were recently lifted and positioned along the lateral facade, visible from inside the stadium. Some crane activity involved lowering and raising these pieces, possibly for adjustment precision. The sheer scale of these structural components underscores how critical this assembly phase is for overall stadium stability and roof progression. Sandwich panels represent February's most notable new element, appearing around stairwell zones on the lateral and south goal sides. The bottom panels are concrete, while upper panels use different composite materials with an attractive silver finish that will eventually receive covering layers. Interior stairwell panel installation is nearly complete, with just small sections remaining, and exterior stair panels have begun placement. This marks meaningful progress on enclosing vertical circulation routes. However, some stairwell zones still await panel deliveries entirely, and the structural beams throughout these areas remain incomplete. The coordination between facade llamas and sandwich panel systems is advancing, but material arrival timing continues creating installation gaps across different stadium sectors. Corner area walls received fresh black paint, with workers conducting touch-ups throughout the zone. More significantly, vertical supports for llamas are now being welded directly onto black beams on the right-hand side near the Tribune. This marks the transition from material staging to active facade panel installation in that section. Extensive chrome tubing appeared in the corner zone, likely related to HVAC or ventilation ductwork, with additional parts staged nearby for continued installation. The integration of mechanical systems alongside facade work shows construction phasing is becoming more complex. However, coordination challenges are evident as some areas race ahead, while others wait on delayed components or weather windows. The North Goal aims to open by late February with a capacity around 62,000 spectators, pushing total stadium capacity past the halfway mark toward the final 105,000 target. This represents a major operational milestone, yet the timeline is slipping slightly from original projections. Heavy structural beamwork is far along on both left and right sides, with multiple elevating platforms active throughout the zone. Concrete chipping work continues between beams and hollow core slabs, preparing surfaces for sandwich panel installation. Workers are numerous, and interior finishing tasks are visibly advancing. Still, the gap between structural readiness and complete enclosure remains substantial, and February's opening target will require sustained intensity through month's end. The Tribune zone shows moderate activity levels, with several elevating platforms in operation and workers gathered in what appears to be a briefing or coordination meeting. Some scaffolding areas remain temporarily unoccupied, suggesting work is concentrated in specific sections rather than distributed evenly. This week's update reveals a construction site operating under significant pressure. La Liga's permissive work rules enabled progress just hours before a match. But this intensity comes with coordination risks that UEFA rules specifically prohibit. Facade llamas finally moved from staging to installation at the south goal corner. Sandwich panels advance throughout stairwell systems, and compression ring components positioned for imminent assembly phases. The diamond cafeteria glass facade nears completion, while the north goal pushes toward a late February opening with 62,000 capacity. However, persistent weather delays, material arrival gaps, and uneven progress across zones show this project is fighting scheduling pressures on multiple fronts. Next week, we'll track whether north goal finishing work meets its timeline, monitor radial beam installation progress, and assess if weather conditions finally stabilize enough for sustained facade installation. Subscribe to GOAT Stadiums for continued weekly updates. If you found this update valuable, hit like and subscribe to GOAT Stadiums for next week's construction analysis. Thanks for watching.